Guys, you are currently watching a clip from our podcast, The Fellas. The full podcast is available exclusively on Spotify with video for free. So go ahead and follow us on Spotify. It actually helps us out more than you could imagine.
Have you walked for anyone?
I have not walked yet.
Is that something you want to do?
It's something that my team's trying to figure out strategically. I'm like, my first show that I walked, they want it to be like the right one. And because like, I don't know. It's not something that I like have dreamt about. Like I want to walk. Some models do that, but it's like I never thought I'd be in this position. But it's like, yeah, if the opportunity presents itself,
is there a particular brand that you'd be like, yeah, this is?
There's a few that I would like love to. Like it would just be a good look, and you know, like they've treated me well. But off the top of my head, like I don't know.
The big ones.
Yeah, the big ones. I don't really want to throw out names because I don't want to like...
Yeah. Keep your options open.
Yeah.
That's what it's at. Yeah. But so like that whole fashion like side of the world, I've heard like pretty mixed things about it in general. And I don't know how like ingrained you are in it. But like it seems to be like quite a catty industry in the sense that there's a lot of like talk and like people get really like jealous, like, oh, you're going to da. Yeah, it's like it's supposed to be like a bit of a bitchy scene. Have you experienced any of that?
Yeah, it's crazy that you said it's super competitive in such a weird way, in such like a
that's bizarre.
It's not like a competitive thing where like you've worked your whole life for like you have this talent and you're gonna go show it versus someone who's done the same thing. It's more of just like right place, right time, you know, right look. And it's like, you can't really work for a look to a certain extent. Like, it's one of those things where, like I'm pretty ingrained into it, but it's like, I've been fortunate enough to kind of like surpass a lot of the things because of my following. And like, I'm very,
but surely that
blessed.
comes with people going, why should he be XYZ just because he's got a following?
100%. Yeah. And I never want that to be the case with anything. And so that's why like I try to, you know, do almost like extra credit to show that like I belong here and like that kind of thing. And
You're
so
worthy.
like, doing like these shoots with like high-end magazines to show like that kind of thing, working with bigger brands, doing that kind of thing. And like,
do just want to give you guys the heads up that our amazing orange and black 165th floor tees are out now. You guys can go ahead and get them. There's a few left. Most have already gone. So make sure you head on over to the site, check them out, and enjoy, guys.
It's all about how you just kind of like portray yourself and like how you carry yourself. And like, I have a great team around me to kind of, you know, everything has intent, or like you don't want to go to everything and make yourself so desirable, or the other way around, like so like open, whereas like you want to keep things like exclusive almost.
So that's like another thing that I found strange, but I feel as though things had been changing, especially over recent times. Is back in the day, there was always this big thing about like almost appearing quite mysterious and like not showing too much about your life because you want people to be like, oh, I wonder like what this celebrity's doing. And this was a massive thing, more so back in the day. Nowadays, though, because of the likes of TikTok and everything, it's almost like the complete opposite. And the people that give you the most access to their life tend to be some of the most famous. Like you look at people like the Kardashians, things like that. You know, they have their show. They really let you in.
Yeah.
Whereas in the fashion world, especially, it's like the opposite. Right?
Very mysterious.
Yeah. So is there like a strategy with your brand here? Because you are now in between. You are both, right? You're part of the TikTok people, which are like, let me show you absolutely everything. Yeah. And then you're part of the fashion industry. It's like, you're not going to see jack shit unless I show you it.
Right.
Or you're supposed to see it.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. And like we talk about it sometimes about the balance of kind of, you know, it's interesting how back in the day where like your A-list celebrities were like actors, you know, big pop stars, like that kind of thing. And like, you would fall in love with their character in a movie, and like you would have no idea what they're like outside of that. And so like when you meet them, it may not like live up to your expectation, that kind of thing. And it's like, it's that interesting thing of like, it's mysterious. So like you think, I don't know, you can be a fan of them, but like to what extent? Like to the character that you fell in love with in the movie. And like you can listen to someone's music and like love their voice, but if you don't really know much about them and that kind of thing. But more than anything, I don't really think too much. Like that's what my team does. Like they think like bigger thing, like, and I'm definitely a part of those talks. And like, I have like a clear idea of like what I want to do in that kind of sense. But for the most part, I just like to live life and just want people to follow along. Like I am very blessed and was kind of handed this crazy opportunity. And I felt like it would almost be selfish if I didn't share it with people because like, for example, I'm going to hop back on YouTube here soon. Like I got a lot of content banked and like this new style that I'm doing is very like travel based and it's very like seeing the world through my eye type thing because it's interesting. Like I never thought I'd be traveling to the places I am due to work or just in general. And like, I want people to experience it through my eyes in a sense. And I don't know. I just find that so interesting. I love like sharing my life with people. Like I love having people consume like, and like almost getting to know me on a different level. But then it comes to this keeping it in a moderation and like almost a balance because then
you're a private guy as well.
But then if you don't tell them something, like if you're keeping something from them, they'll hound you and they're like, why aren't you telling us this? And it's like, I don't owe you anything, but at the same time, like, look, I'm an open book, but like there's some, like if I'm not addressing it, then like just know it's not your business.
Because you got a lot of stick for keeping your relationship status and things like that private.
Yeah, right? Very much.
Which is something that me and Chip actually, we are both massive. Like we're massive advocates for. Like we keep our relationship stuff like completely. Mine's completely offline.
Smart.
Chip, for the most part, is completely offline.
Here and there, I'll drop her a little end of carousel picture.
Yeah. But that's as good as it gets,
No
like
tag.
No tag. No, nothing like that. No tag.
But yeah, that's like for us, that's been a big thing for us. Like we keep that side of things private, and that's obviously something, especially in your world at least, that people aren't really used to. Like at least from the way it seems like in the US, particularly over in LA, like if someone's got a girlfriend, everybody fucking knows about it and everybody knows the details. And then the worst part happens if it does end, then everybody has an opinion on it. And it's there just like, this is terrible for everyone involved. And that's always been my...
There's no gain from it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So was there a reason why you sort of decided to step out? Because also having either your relationship status or even just your relationship in general online can be a super lucrative business.
Yeah.
So you are giving
big
up.
Big pros, big cons.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Very. Yeah, like obviously something that I don't really care about, like obviously a lot of people tend to, because at the end of the day it is a job. But like, yeah, being in a relationship or any kind of couple content will crush in terms of views. And like people love it. But it comes to a point where yeah, the views are great, but at the same time, like, what's it doing for, like, we had a discussion about it, Dixie and I, and we were like, at the end of the day, it's like, we don't want to rely on each other for our careers. So like, it's better if we keep it offline. It saves
all the bullshit.
A ton of just like, the benefits of like the mental health aspect of just like not having to deal with any of that. And then like, it also helps your brand. Like you don't become a package deal, like because there are a lot of people that are like this package deal, and it can hurt them in the long run. Because
now
if
you're
they
like
separate,
your
then
own
it's like,
thing.
then what, And so we figured it was best to just take it offline and go from there and just be happy offline, and then, career wise, like focus on how do we brand each other in a separate way, but then support each other like privately. And it's like ever since we've done that, it's been great. And like,
it's the best thing because you don't have like other people's opinion. Like they can't form an opinion now because they have nothing to form an opinion of.
Exactly.
Right? And not only that, but at least from the way that I've seen as well, is that as much as people say like, oh, I don't read on the internet or whatever, but like realistically, like let's say, you've put up like a bit of content with your girlfriend or whatever, and everyone's there commenting like, wow, she's clearly not feeling him or whatever it is, just something like that. Like you read it and in your head, that's not the case. But if you keep fucking reading that all the time, eventually you're there just like, fuck, like it gets to you as much as
it's
you
inevitable. Like you can tell, like it's so much easier said than done to be like, just ignore the comments. But it's like,
it
comes to a point where it's like,
it's always the case as well. Like we get so much support online. You can read through 1,000 comments, right? And 999 of them are going to be so fucking good, and you're going to be like, "Oh, thank you, I love this." But then you see this one comment,
one comment
saying, "Oh, you know what? Noah looking a little bit big today."
Yeah,
it's like
Noah looks fat as fuck,
and then you're just like, "That sticks with you all day." I get it all the time. I'm just like, "Fuck, this guy's ruined my day."
To be fair though, you have been putting on hella weight though, chick.
Ridiculous.
No, I'm not even joking.
Ridiculous.
In Australia, let me show you.
What's your fucking mouth?
I need to. No.
this there was a lot.
Picture is crazy.
No, it's all.
Nah, you put on crazy.
It's
Wait
all
1
part of
second.
No, I got a movie role. I need to be bigger.
Yeah,
I love it.
he's method acting.
Yeah, you don't understand it,
Have
man.
to.
Yeah,
We gotta be because
you scrolling through, you can't find. There's so many fat pictures, you can't find the one you're looking
do
for.
you know what?
You gotta hold your boys accountable.